So thank you very much for joining us today. As you know, we at Plogix obviously showcase a number of different artists. We have a very unique, process whereby we, select like-minded artists. We try to have artists not only collaborate but also showcase them on our YouTube channel, which is growing quite significantly. On our social media channels, of course, on our online gallery, and as you may be very well familiar now, on our outdoor digital outdoor showcases, which we pretty much keep on adding every month, new locations. So great to have you here today, and yeah. Maybe we can just get started, and you can give us a little bit of an intro of how you got started into art, or into the kind of niche, obviously that you work under, and what made you kind of select this direction, and how long, obviously, you've been doing it for as well.
Sure. First of all, thank you for inviting me for this interview. I'm very honored and pleased. I'm joining this interview from Turkey, Istanbul. I live in Turkey, Istanbul. Actually, I'm an interior architect, but I got into art, I think, about 2003 with first paintings. And then the dimensions and the sizes were not enough for me. So I start to learn sculpture. Now I'm both making sculptures and both paintings and multidisciplinary media, everything inside. Uh, that's how I got into art. And since from 2003, I'm into this, start with painting again. And then after the dimensions were not enough for me, I try to express myself with sculpture.
In some of the sculptures, is there a kind of like some sort of uniformity within the sculptures themselves? I noticed they have there's like a lot of symbolism behind them. So I'm not sure if maybe you can give us a little bit of history, or if there's a particular kind of motto that you usually tend to follow, or is it more of a completely free flow, and each sculpture is completely individual and and different from the next one?
Sure. First of all, my inspiration is nature. It's obvious. So one of my sculptures behind me is love, called Love. And for artists, seeing and looking is different thing. So when you look something deeply and observe it, it comes as a sculpture from me, actually. And the other one is Free Fall. You're right about that. The name is the Free Fall also. It's custom made for a private collector. Actually, my most inspiration is from the nature and woman also. I'm always trying to express myself with my woman figures. As a style, I cannot say specifically this style, but for my paintings, I'm morally more expressionist, we can say it. But for my sculptures, I'm working with the figures. It's much easier for me to work with the figures, not purely abstract, but modern figures. And the thing is that I'm trying to tell a story about them. Uh, Feelings in my life, my experiences in my life are coming a story and then being a sculpture for me.
Is there any particular materials that you usually use? Because I see they're
These
mostly
are bronze. These are
bronze. Okay.
bronze.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, I work with some composite materials,
Hmm.
but mostly with bronze material. First of all, I'm starting to make the sculpture from clay,
Hmm.
and then molding, and then mostly I work with the bronze material. But sometimes I work with the composite material as well. I had
Hmm.
some pop art pieces
Yeah.
that I made an exhibition for Milan. And they're, for example, they're composite materials, but they're also personalized with acrylic pen and some paintings.
I mean, how long does it usually take you for each and every sculpture from start to finish? Is it vary or also the sizes? Is it similar? I noticed, well, the ones that you have right behind you are similar sizes, but do you do really big ones and really small ones, or is it a particular like size of sculpture that you'd like to work with?
Yes, it's up to the sculpture, as you said. For the sizes, also the details are very important in our business. Sometimes we make sculptures in maybe a week, but sometimes it takes 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah, it's sometimes because when it's very detailed, it
Yeah.
takes 2 months. And when I'm making a sculpture, uh, I'm also working with other sculptures as well.
Yeah.
Normally, not only one. So sometimes I jump the other one and then this one again. So it takes sometimes 2 months, sometimes a week. It's up to the sculpture and the details of the sculpture.
So the biggest challenges for you when you're sculpting?
Actually, when I'm at my workshop, I'm working with clay, so it doesn't need to get dry. But at my home studio, I'm working with plastering, with monster clay. So it's more durable. And for the small figures, I'm making my construction first. And then actually here you can see a small piece of monster clay. I'm working with the plastering. So for home studios, it's much durable and more easy. And if it's not a uh, if it's not rushing me, the custom is not rushing me, so I work very easily with the monster clay. Monster clay.
Were you always working with sculptures, or did you start your artistic journey maybe with a
With the
painting or
painting, yeah,
okay.
with the painting. I start with my artistic journey with the painting, and
Yeah.
then after some reliefs, but the dimensions and the sizes were not enough to express myself. So it's becoming uh, some expressionism instead of a hobby for the artist. So I try to express myself with the sculptures. Always, actually, I'm working with my feelings and emotions. When you see my sculptures, every one has a name with the feelings which I had in my life, like balance, like love, like flow, like the others, breathe, and there are many, many. But they're all my feelings that I'm having in my life, time to time.
Which are you able to like if you were to look at one of the sculptures, then in that case, would you be able to go back to a particular time in your life every single time that you look at the sculpture? Is that when you can see kind of all of your emotions basically right before your eyes if you're
Yes,
looking at one of the sculptures?
self-kindnessless. There's a one
Okay.
sculpture that I love it. It's called self-kindnessless.
Is that your
That's
favorite?
yeah, it's one of my favorites. Everything, every sculpture is my baby.
Yeah.
So there is no favorite, but self-kindnessless is the most important thing in our lives, I think, I believe. So I try to express my feeling with a sculpture, and I'm very happy with the finish.
For any of the viewers out there, art enthusiasts that are into sculptures, and I guess if they wanted to have a piece of yours, is it most of them? Do they ask for particular pieces, or is it pretty much kind of what's because you mentioned that they are so tied with your feelings and so tied with kind of your emotions as you're putting it together. What about to those art enthusiasts who come to you and say, "Listen, can you make me a sculpture of this because I wanted to convey this or this?" Do you also do that? And if so, is it harder for you to do it that way instead, as opposed to just going with the flow of what you're feeling?
It's two different ways, I believe, because I had many customers or collectors, as you told me. For example, one of my very kind collector came to me one day and told me that I love your style, I love the feeling of your sculptures, but I want something for myself, which is custom made. And I try to observe her. I ask some questions, and she told me that I even don't want a draft, written draft. So whatever you're gonna make it, it's okay for me. And I made a mother with two. She only asks that she wanted to have two children in this life, but coming and going, it didn't happen. But she wanted to feel this feeling. So I made a mother and the two little babies here, like a soul. And she also like the wings of the angels. I put some wings. And she loved it. She appreciated very much. She really cried about that. But sometimes, people are coming, and when they see my sculptures, I'm trying to give them a joy, a nice smile on their faces, and the serenity when they look at the sculpture. Always positive feelings, I believe. So sometimes they are asking the story of the sculpture. And a couple of my collectors loved the story and then they bought the sculpture. So it's up to the collector, actually.
What brings you the most joy in creating the sculptures? Is it more the process of creating them? Is it the brainstorming process prior to creating them? Is it kind of what you feel after you finalize them? Or is it even more than anything, as you say, of course, seeing the smile on the face of those who are collecting them?
Actually, the joy of my life, I think, is the process of the sculpting. So I'm not using any assistant or nobody because I like the process. When I'm processing a sculptor, I'm having another feeling, and another feeling brings another sculpture actually. While I'm processing this night and long nights, long, long nights, so I'm feeling it. When I'm making it, I'm feeling it. So this feeling brings another sculpture actually.
Do
So I
you
like the process.
do you prefer sculpting at night, daytime, or does it really matter?
Night,
Night,
May
okay.
after 6 o'clock, I think,
Okay.
because I don't know, with my candles and this music, and
Yeah.
I like sculpting at nights. Yes.
In terms of learning, did you learn from scratch, learn by doing? Did you actually take courses?
Yeah,
Because
I
I think
did.
a
I
lot,
did. I did.
right?
First of all, I took some courses for painting courses. After as I've told you, I'm an interior architect,
Yeah,
but I'm not doing it anymore. First, I started to take some private lessons for paintings for
yeah.
2 years, and then I started to take some lessons again for sculpting for 2.5 years, basic sculpting from the scratch. Very, very good teachers for Turkey, and then I start solo. But I never climbed the stairs very rush, step by step, slow by slow. So I don't have a rush. I only want to tell people that everybody can make sculpture, but you don't need to rush about that.
And Seda, what is your one message that you want to convey to the world, maybe either through art, through what you're doing, or that one thing that really drives you, or that you want to leave kind of a long-lasting impression on everybody who views your work. If you had one message to share with not only your viewers from a sculpture standpoint, but pretty much everyone in the art community in general, what would that be?
One message, uh, it's difficult, but the humanity need belongings, I think. So when you look at in an art piece, you need to feel the belongings. For example, love. It can be about the wind. It can be about the freedom. It can be about the peace. But feel, when you see a artwork and when you feel that belonging, it's your artwork. And if there's only one message that I should have given, um, it should be peace, I think. Peace,
Peace. Okay.
peace,
Very nice.
yes.
Yeah. And who's your biggest inspiration as an artist, either alive or
There
past
are
already?
there are many actually. Actually, there are many. First of all, there are many architects that I'm inspired from, like Frank Gehry, Zaha Hadid, Le Corbusier, and some of them made also some sculptures. Forms. They're always making some forms and amorph forms, like Corbusier and Gaudi as well. After the forms, there are some sculptors as well, like Anish Kapoor, Lorenzo Queen. I like the works. I like to express themselves like that. Jacopo, artist from Italy. He works with marble. Tony Craig works with natural and elements, again with nature and the elements. Michael Talbot always tries to express himself with the woman figures.
Do
There
you
are many,
implement
many
a
of
lot
them.
of do you implement a lot of the techniques from a lot of these people that you're inspired by from time to time, or is it more just you gather inspiration from them and kind of combine different elements as you go along?
Exactly, because everything is a tool for a sculptor, actually. Even a glass, even a kitchen tool is a tool for a sculptor. So I like to work multidisciplinar style, because of the interior architecture education. So sometimes I'm working with a paper, and sometimes I'm working with the brass. Sometimes I'm working with flowers. It's up to the moment, actually. But
And
there's a one construction and the clay at the end.
what would you say is your biggest challenge whilst doing sculpture? I mean, you mentioned that obviously you're a little bit more limited when it comes to painting, perhaps. I guess with the sculpture, maybe you can be a little bit more free flow in terms of delivering, the symbolism that you want to convey. But I can imagine there's also some bigger challenges that come with sculptures as opposed to obviously painting. Can you name some of them, or can you share maybe some of the ones that you've come across or that have been, a real challenge for you? Um, and on that note, is it also challenging for you to actually showcase a lot of your sculptures, particularly now that social media is such a big component of showcasing your artwork? Because I can imagine that, to put a sculpture on social media, it's not the same. Maybe in a painting you can get a little bit more in terms of the details, but with a sculpture it can be a little bit trickier, more to analyze, how big the actual sculpture is. But especially if you're just putting it there without any sort of background or any sort of reference point, and then of course, to convey kind of the depth of the sculpture or seeing it in a 3D way. So, what are maybe some of the challenges that you face as opposed to, just your typical painter?
Actually, for the moment, I'm having this challenge. I made a tree. When I start to make this tree, I thought it was going to be a small tree, but then it goes wider and wider.
Yeah,
Now we're trying to figure out how are we going to have the molding.
yeah.
So it's standing just behind me here. We need to cut all the stems and everything. So it was a challenge, because when I start to make a sculpture, it's not finishing what I thought
Yeah.
sometimes. So it's a challenge. But the other challenge is the scale also. As you have told me, I have a pop art series called George. Everybody thought that it was a 3D because of the because of the picture on the social media, but it was not a 3D. It was handmade it, and so I tell people and I show pictures of during the process and everything. It's a challenge as well.
Okay, excellent. And Maybe just closing off some last minute remarks. First of all, I think what the work that you're doing is really really nice.
Thank you.
And I'm sure everybody can see some of the hints of it right behind you, of course. Where would most people find your work, either Plogix or beyond? What would be the best way for those that are interested in your work to actually, and even for those that would like a custom piece, usually what kind of your process, so that everybody out there viewing can get more or less an idea.
Uh, First of all, I would like to mention about that I start to make some functional art pieces because sometimes art is not something very expensive, unfortunately, especially the bronze casting. So I want more reachable, so that I start making some functional art, like chandeliers, like serving plates, like consoles,
Yeah,
tables, and so they're both in the stores and also with my art pieces. They're together. So I started to make some functional art, and I have a YouTube channel, so everybody can follow my sculpture, my process from my YouTube channel, Seda Eyüboğlu Art.
yep,
I have an Instagram page
yep.
that they can still see the process and everything there. I'm joining some exhibitions and I'm announcing them from my social media. Yes,
Excellent. No, that's great, and obviously, hopefully, you can join a couple of our upcoming ones as well. From a project standpoint, I know you've been with us for some time, and obviously, we'd love to to showcase and share more of your works as much as possible. So it's been great session. Obviously, learning more about your work. It's very unique, and of course, it's not again not the typical one when it comes to, to sculptures. We don't have many sessions like these. So and there's a lot of people interested in sculpting world for sure. So you're in a beautiful niche, and I think the work that you're doing is really really nice, Seda. So
thank you.
um, thank you again very much for your time. It's been great, and hopefully we look forward to learning more about your works again in the near future.
Hopefully, thank you very much, Gino.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram to support our artists.